Right now, and every single time I look at the data, it's worse. There's some debate among scholars and activists about how bad the retirement crisis is, but even the retirement crisis deniers, their reports show a trend of things getting worse.
Hey, Congressman, how do y'all plan on cutting Social Security this week?
Sir?
How do you guys plan on cutting Social Security this Congress?
We're not going to cut Social Security.
You're not? Not at all? What about raising the age of retirement?
You know, that's interesting that you asked that question. People come up to me, they actually don't work on it.
Yeah. You just heard from Republican Rick Allen of Georgia admit that he wants to cut Social Security only a mere 6 or 7 seconds after saying, oh, the Republican Party doesn't want to cut Social Security. That is quite the contradiction. Now, he actually thinks that he can get away with that. This is a masterclass in GOP deception, and we'll talk about how raising the retirement age is explicitly a cut to Social Security. But isn't it interesting how his justification there for wanting to raise the retirement age is, well, everyone just wants to work. Everyone's perfectly happy working until they die, which is why it's necessary for us to raise the retirement age.
So we have half of Americans who are enfranchised, they're in the workforce, will hit some point in their lives they won't be able to work anymore. Many people might call that retirement, because in America we have this myth and story that you can work whenever you want. We don't have the word that's very useful in other parts of the world, which is superannuation. But the data is showing me that older people are not wanted by employers, or their skills are depreciating, and their human capital is obsolete. Even though that myth that they can keep on working provides them with some kind of hope, and the nation some hope that they can fill in those income gaps with work, the reality is that they can't.
Except remember how just a little more than a year into the pandemic, Republicans were saying that we had to cut unemployment insurance because nobody wants to work. These small businesses can't find people to fill these positions because they're getting checks from the government. So since everyone is so lazy, we have to cut unemployment insurance. But now they're saying, well, nobody's lazy. Everybody wants to work so much. They're so enthusiastic about working until they die. They're perfectly fine if we raise their retirement age. Now, he would argue that that's not actually a contradiction. It's perfectly consistent, and a cut to Social Security is where we simply reduce the amount of benefits people get per year. Except, no, raising the retirement age is indeed a cut to Social Security, and he knows that. When someone proposes increasing the retirement age to 68, all they are really proposing is to cut monthly Social Security benefits by around 7% at all 96 retirement ages. A proposal to raise the retirement age to 70 is just a proposal to cut monthly benefits by around 23% at all 96 retirement ages. None of this is about when you retire. It's just a straightforward benefit reduction being expressed in an opaque way. Now, if that was confusing to you, I think that this chart, courtesy of Matt Brunig, makes it a little bit more clear. You can see it right here. The earlier you retire, the more lifetime benefits you receive. The later you retire, the less benefits you receive. It's that simple.
The injustice here is not only compelling us to pay more and get less, as they are doing to us with inflation, and even as they raid that money to line their own pockets, but they also demand we surrender our own sovereign right to decide collectively to provide for our own later years when we should not or cannot work any longer. They demand instead we hand our money over to them to invest for us so that we can be charged for the privilege instead of hiring staff that works only for us to properly care for that collective pool. Their demand and threat is that we are not allowed to take care of ourselves. Instead, we have to go through them at their pleasure and their profit.